Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Jeunes frères musulmans, suis avec nous le mouvement, ne deviens pas un brigand, ou tu finiras perdant. Même si tu t'appelles Christian, tu peux devenir musulman. Si tu crois au Tout-Puissant, tu deviendras un gagnant. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Méfie-toi de ce Satan, il est pire qu'un serpent, il guide tous les perdants vers un lieu très effrayant. Si tu meurs mécréant, tu goûteras au châtiment. Je ne te parle pas du jugement, que tu vivras en pleurant. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Et si tu crois que je mens, vérifie dans le Coran, il a bien plus de 1000 ans, et il émerveille les gens. Si tu meurs musulman, tu vivras éternellement, comme le dit le Coran, dans un monde éblouissant. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Jeunes frères musulmans, suis avec nous le mouvement, joignons nos cœurs en chantant La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah.
Cross the line, I'm about to make another.
Convener of Icodehs lecture series and founder of Islamic Council for Development and Humanitarian Services, religious and community leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests. I greet you with the fraternal greetings of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. For Christian folk, means peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. First, a few housekeeping rules. For those sitting at this side of the hall, when you turn to your back, you see two doors that signals the washroom, the bathroom. And for our sisters and mothers sitting at this side of the hall on my right, the bathroom that you need to use is the one that's on your right or on your left, rather. Yes, we'll also crave your kind indulgence to put your phones on vibrate mode. And in case you need to answer, if you can take a few steps to the back door so that we don't get a feedback. Thirdly, if I may urge the brothers standing at the entrance to take absolute control of the corridor so that we don't have kind of chaos around. this note, may I invite a few personalities to be with us here at the high table. May I start with the representative from the Peace Council of Ghana. Representative from the Peace Council of Ghana, please, if you can join us here at the high table. May I invite the representative from the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayose. May I invite Sheikh Suleiman Ahmed Mahmoud to be with us on the high table. May I also invite my brother, they are all my brothers and parents, of course. I'm saying my brother with a special attachment way back, Dr. Zalgoon, Dr. Harun Zalgoon Said. As we're waiting on the spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, may I invite His Excellency, Sheikh Ahmed Mubarak, to join us on the high table, please. He's the former Consular General of Ghana to Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and Malaysia. May I invite Sheikh Professor Osman Bari to be with us here at the high table. May I invite my other brother of the same generation, Dr. Hafiz, Mohammed Hafiz, from the University of Ghana, Lagos. Up here. May I also invite the Chief of Zongo of New York, from the United States of America, Alaji Bada Soldier, to be with us here. Finally, may I invite Chief Alhaji Umar Rabaisa to take the last seat on that. this note. Thank you very much, elders, seniors, and colleagues for doing us the favor of being with us here. On this note, may I call for the opening Quranic recitation, and the brother who will do this for us is Sayyid Abdul Mumin Ibrahim. فليتفضل مشكورا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإن طائفتان من المؤمنين اقتتلوا فأصلحوا بينهما فإن بغت إحداهما على الأخرى فقاتلوا التي تبغي حتى تفيء إلى أمر الله فإن فاءت فأصلحوا بينهما بالعدل وأقسطوا إن الله يحب المقسطين. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهم ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. صدق الله العظيم.
التكبير. التكبير. For our non-Muslim brothers, it means we show praises to God in reverence for His holy book. Thank you so much, brother, for taking us through the benediction, which borders on the very topic for which we gathered in here today. Thank you so much. May I, on this note, introduce the spokesperson to the National Chief Imam, our own teacher and great scholar, Shami Al-Shari. At-Takbir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa la aqibatu lil muttaqin wa la udwana illa 'ala adh-dhalimin. لقد صدق الحق سبحانه وتعالى حيث يقول يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. صدق الله العظيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه. أما بعد. Basically, what I say in Arabic is, thanks to Allah, the Almighty, who has brought us here. And then I quoted a verse in the Quran that says, "Oh you people, we have created you nations and tribes, for knowing each other." Basically, in order for you to know each other. The most respected among you is the most God-fearing. Basically, that's Quranic verse. And I give praises to the Prophet of Islam. Distinguished guests, welcome to the inaugural session of Icodehs lecture series. Mr. Chairman, for centuries, our world has been controlled and run by two main ideological forces. That is Islam in the East and Christianity in the West. The common feature between these ideological poles has been that of wars and conflicts, tension and mistrust, stereotypes and prejudices. These are what led to the us and them division. This family contributed to fueling the despicable incident of 9/11 in New York, USA in 2001. The revenge that was visited upon the alleged perpetrators of that mayhem came fast and swift, with shock and awe, as the then US President George Bush termed it. The exorcists that came along the revenge worsened the us and them divide, leading to a cascade of suicide bombings in Europe, America, Africa, and Asia. This is what nudged some political and religious leaders in the Middle East and Europe to take steps to curb what was pushing humanity to the precipice of collective danger. In 2007, the then King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz organized a groundbreaking interfaith dialogue, bringing together Islamic and Christian leaders, scholars, top government officials. This led to the establishment of the King Abdullah International Center for International Interreligious Dialogue in Vienna, Australia in 2012. In 2016, over 250 Muslim religious leaders, heads of states, and governments met in Marrakesh, that is Morocco, where they came out with what they call the Marrakesh Declaration, in Arabic, A'lan Marrakesh. Only last month, the Islamic Council for Development and Humanitarian Services, led by the visionary the colossus of a scholar, Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim, represented Ghana in the National Chief Imam on behalf of the whole nation as well as participants at the Meeting of Human Fraternity in Abu Dhabi, where some 600 Muslim global religious heads, leaders and scholars met along, with Pope Francis, who led the non-Muslims of the West, and Sheikh al-Azhar, the Vice Chancellor of the Azhar University, Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib, representing Muslims. They came out with yet another declaration called Abu Dhabi Declaration, that's Ilan Abu Dhabi. This lecture, Interfaith Dialogue, Lessons Through Islamic History as Guide to Strengthen Peace Among Muslims and Non-Muslims in Ghana, is to follow up on the last month's summit, which was attended by Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim, the very convener of this Interfaith Dialogue. As a follow-up on the last month's summit, and will propagate the message embedded in the declaration in a more realistic, practical format. Icodehs, being an active member of the interfaith community, will execute this along with other religious, tolerant-based projects and programs in due course. So basically, this is the subject background for your attention. On this note, distinguished guests, I would like to introduce the chairman of today's occasion. The person to steer the affairs of today's program is a youth activist, a young Muslim brother with whom I happen to have, collaborated on several student-based activities back in the mid to late, 90s. If I may start from the summit. The end is Doctor of Philosophy, PhD degree from the University of Birmingham in United Kingdom. And the end, before that, the end is Masters of Arts in International Affairs at the University of Ghana, Lagos. Before that, he had a Bachelor of Arts in the Study of Religions and Arabic, where he came out with first class honors. Before that, he had a diploma in Arabic language and culture at Ain Shams University in Cairo, Egypt. Our chairman holds Professional Teacher Certificate A from the Institute of Education, University of Cape Coast. Without much ado, please welcome Dr. Harun Zagun Saeed. Allah Akbar. Again, a takbir, it's a big takbir. It's a PhD holder. He was away. He's the leader. Another takbir, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Executive Chairman of Icodehs, Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim, my distinguished scholars present here, my leaders present here, distinguished invited guests, my sisters and mothers present here, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to discuss humanity. I also want to thank Icodehs for giving the opportunity to chair this important event. An event that brings a lot of different diverse religions together to discuss how we can compare, to discuss how we can collaborate, to discuss how we can move as religious community. I have a lot to say, but I'll take it to the closing remarks because we have taken a lot of time. And if I'm permitted, I want to go straight to introduce the speaker, who is the eye of the event today. Our speaker started his early education with his late father, who was an imam in the northern region. He later continued his elementary education between 1963 and 1972. He then enrolled for Arabic and English studies and later continued his education at Islamic Secondary School at the tutelage of the late Sheikh Ahmed Akil, who was then the principal of the school. He later got a scholarship to Beirut, Lebanon, to study at Hazrat al-Ilmi, a traditional study circle. Our Sheikh speaker today later left to Syria as a refugee, where he continued his education at the University of Damascus, Syria, at the Faculty of Letters. He returned home in 1981 and started work at the Saudi Embassy in Nigeria for a brief period and moved on to work with the Nigerian-based urban local industry as marketing and other affairs manager. Our Sheikh speaker today is now a consultant while serving Allah as the Imam of Anyas and Farmos here in Accra. Please let's welcome Sheikh Suleiman Ahmed Mahmoud, Imam of Anyas and Farmos.
Islam is the most comprehensive greeting so far in the world. It tells you may God bless you with His best possible favor and may you enjoy a peaceful and prosperous life. For us Muslims, when we say Assalamu alaikum, it's compulsory for you to say Wa alaikum salam. Mostly Assalamu alaikum talks about peace. That's the definition of peace, salam. The Hebrew says shalom. So peace in Islam, that is what is uniting us here. Every individual came here for the purpose of peace, tolerance. The general lecture today is on tolerance. So I started to bless the Almighty, to ask blessings from the Almighty by saying Assalamu alaikum. Again, Muslims, when we meet all the time, we want to use the Quran as a starting point. That's what our predecessors started from the onset of our meeting here. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyil ummi, صاحب الشفاء في فصل القضاء وعلى الله قصد السبيل ولا حول لنا ولا قوة لنا إلا به العلي العظيم. I started this also to say thanks to the Almighty Allah, the gracious and merciful who united us here in peace and tranquility. And also I bear witness Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of God. And messenger of all mankind, to ask for mankind to follow his principles. Mr. Chairman, founder of Icodehs, lecture series, Executive Chairman of the Islamic Council for Development and Humanitarian Services, Icodehs. Fadilatul Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim, Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, Members of Diplomatic Corps, representatives of the Peace Council, spokespersons for the National Chief Imam Sheikh Al-Shai, General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Cyril Pius, Commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, heads of religious groups, both Muslims and Christian, distinguished invited guests, brothers and sisters here in Ghana, I greet you all with a fraternal salutation of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. God's peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Terminologically, the word Islam is derived from the Arabic roots Assalamu alaikum. Thus peace, purity, submission, and obedience. In the religious sense, Islam promotes or complicates submission to the will of God and obedience to Islam. As an Abrahamic, monotheistic religion, Islamic teaching revolves around the oneness of God and completion of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As the messenger of God's divine laws to guide the past, the present, and the future generation. And astrologers, Islamic pharmacy, and so forth. Al-Fawid ibn Ahmed, Al-Farahi, Commander Arabic lexicography, to mention some few, Al-Khazari, most renowned as the father of algebra. The concept of faith, Iman and Islam, the word is derived from the Latin faith, an old French word. It denies confidence or trust in a person, thing, or concept. In the context of religion, it is confidence or trust in a particular system of religious belief. Faith or Iman according to Islamic theology involves the believer's faith in the metaphysical aspect of Islam, and it was accompanied by righteous deeds what gains Allah's favor. Interfaith relationships solution to the us and them ideology. The term interfaith dialogue has gained much currency lately, particularly in the advanced jurisdiction. Dialogue as defined by some Western theologians like Kimball, 1991. It's a conversation, a process of communication through speech. It is a reciprocal relationship in which two or more parties endeavor both to express accurately what they mean and to listen and respect what the other person said. However, different or this perspective may be. In fundamental sense, dialogue is a perspective stance, openness in which it is differentiated into three common terminologies interrelated to each other. One is interreligious dialogue. In 1992 reviewed a dialogue which is called separate from debate and evangelism, not like the late Ahmed or Zachary Naik's debates with Christian evangelism. Interreligious dialogue involves the meeting of series of meetings between leaders or scholars of two or more religious groups. These meetings may be called for either seek access to matters of concern to one religious group or the other, or discuss and agree on matters of common concern. The interfaith dialogue aims to prove that any faith group are strictly avoided. Matters of common concern discussed on the basis of tolerance and acceptance that we all worship God in principle, only view His nature in different ways. Tolerance is the foundation for interfaith dialogue. The literal meaning of tolerance to bear Tolerance is a basic principle of Islam. It is religious and moral duty. It does not mean compromise. It does not mean lack of principle or lack of seriousness about God's principles. It means accepting the fact that human beings naturally distinct in their appearance, situation, speech, behavior, and values have the right to live in peace and to be as they are. It also means that one's views are not to be imposed on others. We have to live in peace and not be as they are. It also means that one's views are not to be imposed on others. Islam is the religion of mercy, kindness, the religion of tolerance, and peace. Faith of belief is from the first of the 5 pillars upon which Islam is based. It also consists of more than 70 branches and so forth. One of these parts is tolerance. The Quran speaks about the basic dignity of all human beings. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about the quality of all human beings regardless of their race, color, language, tradition, and background. Quranic verse as on tolerance. Clear illustration of tolerance is expressed from the verse of Quran. For the Muslim, that is for you is your religion, and me is my religion. Or you can say unto you your religion, and unto me my religion. So there is no force or compulsion in religion. Therefore, we cannot force others to accept our point of view. A religion of faith. As Allah said in the Quran, there is no compulsion in religion. Quran, chapter 2, verse 256. This implies that there is no compulsion upon any other faith-bearing person. There shall be no compulsion in acceptance of the religion. The right course has become clear from the wrong, so whoever disbelieves in Taghut and believes in Allah has grasped the most trustworthy handholds, no break in it. And Allah is hearing and knowing. Quran, verse 2, chapter 2, verse 256. The religion of Islam revolves around hope and fear of the one and only Creator. So the believer is one who has hope and fear. Allah Almighty says, verily, they used to hasten on to do good deeds, and they used to pour on us in hope and in fear. Times when you pray to Allah, you must be very confident in your prayers and be too much optimistic that Allah will accept your prayer. So that's the basic principles of a Muslim in his prayers. From these verse, we can conclude that believer is the one who has hope and fear. This makes a believer a tolerant servant. Islam teaches tolerance on all levels, between individuals, within groups. Between state tolerance is the structure that upholds human rights, agriculture, university, and rule of law. Allah says in the Quran very clearly, to every people have pre-appointed rites and ceremonies which they must follow. Let them not then dispute with you on the matter, but do invite them to your law, for you are short-lived on the right way. If they will wrangle with you, say, God knows best what it is you are doing. God will judge between you on the day of judgment concerning the matters in which you differ. That's Quran, Surah Al-Hajj, chapters 76, verse 69. So we see that the verses mentioned about from a base suppression of people present the message to them in a decent and clear way. Invite them to the truth and do your best in presenting and conveying the message of Allah to humanity. While it is totally up to them to accept or reject it, we cannot simply impose anything on them. Islam may tolerate anything, but it teaches the rate of tolerance for injustice, oppression, and violation of the rights of other human beings. Allah says in the Holy Quran, and why should we not fight in the cause of Allah and of those who being weak are ill-treated, men, women, and children whose cry is our Lord, rescue us from this town whose people are oppressors, and raise for us from your side one who will protect, and rise for us from your side one who will help. We have a program here which my son Hassan has just read about interfaith tolerance, the Medina chapter as case of study. So we have to reverse this into consideration. Then what I'm talking presently, Islam relates a lot of things to many people of as community. And myself, I attended many Islamic and Christian schools. So they owe me a favor, I owe them a favor. And mostly I'm a lover of the Bible. When I was very young, I used to quote some chapters in the Bible. I used to dramatize the Bible. Sometimes I quote the Song of the Bow, the beauty of Israel, slain upon their high places. How the mighty falling, telling not in God. Let it not be in the streets of Ashkelon, let the debtors of Poland be glad. Ye mountains of Gilboa, let them know rain upon you, and of place of plenty, for them the shoots of mighty were cast away. So the Jonathan was not in their lives, in their depths they were net divided. Ye daughters of Israel, weep for some good load, good blood, and good blood upon your garments, I pray to thee, the Lord Jonathan, as in the love of women, how are the mighty falling. And so when people are reading the Bible, I feel exactly I'm a Christian, and at the same time, I am so devoted to my religion and Islam. So I will end here with this speech and say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
I'm a teacher, so I like Islam. Yeah, if you were listening to our speaker, he was going straight to the point and things that we need to do to ensure that we have religious tolerance among ourselves in Ghana. I am a student of religion, so I understand what you're saying. In fact, my PhD was in religious tolerance, the context of Muslim politics in Ghana. And I think that he raised some important issues for us to reflect on. And I'm sure all of us here are aware that today is a reflection day. He said Islam and the Quran see the dignity of humanity. Whether you are a Muslim, whether you are non-Muslim, whether you are a Christian, whether you are idol worshipper, Islam values the dignity of that humanity. And that should be the basis for us to respect one another. He gave one or two Quranic verses that clearly show that Muslims must respect others' religion and must not coerce anybody to becoming a Muslim. And he said, "Lakum dinukum waliya din." To you, your religion, to us, our religion. And he also mentioned La ikraha fi din, which is a very common verse that a lot of Muslims know. There is no compulsion in religion. And therefore, Muslims cannot force anybody who is not willing to become, a Muslim to be a Muslim. What it means is that even though we are Muslims, we need to respect other faiths. That's exactly what he said. He earlier on talked about tolerance, and that is the crux of the matter. That tolerance has been mentioned many times. The concept of tolerance has been mentioned many times in the Quran. There are scholars, in fact, non-Muslim scholars, who have come to realize that the word tolerance itself has no equivalent in the Quran. There's no word that you can translate in the Quran that reflects tolerance. But the argument we are making is that there are many thousands of statements about tolerance in the Quran. So it's not just about a word of tolerance in the Quran. And I think he said this several times about why Muslims should tolerate other religions, and the vice versa as well. I think that in his last end, he wanted to display to our non-Muslim brothers here that he read the Quran. He knows the Quran. He appreciates the Quran. He respects the Bible. He reads the Bible. He respects the Bible as a word of God, and he appreciates Christianity. Even though he is not a Christian. And so he gives us some rendition about what he has learned in the Bible since he was young. I think this is the cast of the man. We are here to remind ourselves that even though we belong to different religions, we must tolerate one another. We must respect one another. I have heard this for 1,000 times when Muslim leaders and Christian leaders come to talk about tolerance or interreligious relations without doing practical things that can help us to get there. And so, before our other scholars come to speak, I want to remind them that there are many things that have happened recently in our community as a Ghana, as a country. And it tells me that there is so much suspicion between Muslims and Christians. There are so much suspicions between Muslims and Christians. And you don't want to know, when the issue of hijab came, if you heard the responses that came from religious leaders, then you will know that there are so much that suspicion between us that wouldn't allow us to be tolerant or tolerate one another. I think that we need to go beyond just talking and doing programs and projects together that bring us closer to learn each other, to learn from each other, and be able to respect one another. And for me, in addition to what our chef said, I want to add that from here, maybe Icodehs can take the lead in establishing a project between Muslims and Christians. We come together, we work. If it's a school that we want to build for the black communities, if it's a well that we want to build, anything that we want to do for the black community, to show the compassion within religious people. That as we work together, we may understand each other, we may respect each other better than just talking. And indeed, there is a seeing ourselves and showing, beating ourselves by hand doesn't mean that we tolerate one another. Indeed, in people, we are what we call negative peace. And negative peace means that, peace that is there because there's no conflict. There's no war. If there's no war, people think that when there's no war, there's peace. But peace studies scholars have said that what we need is positive peace, where people meet each other and what is in their heart is the same. What is in their heart is stampede. They don't harbor anything against each other. But we can laugh, we can smile, and yet we harbor sentences against one another. And it's not only about being religion to religion. Even among Muslims, my study focuses on Muslims. Among Muslims, many Muslims don't want to see eye to eye with their brothers and sisters. Interreligious conflict is there. Many. And we've gone along, but everyone we are now, a lot of religious sects within the Muslim community wouldn't want to meet. And that is something that we need to break. So I interviewed one scholar in Ghana here. He said that he is surprised that Muslims can meet non-Muslims to discuss about issues of development. But when Muslims have to meet together to discuss their own development, they don't do it. That's the crux of the matter. And so before we can even take religious tolerance to others who are not part of our religion, we need to start looking at our own self. How can we come together to ensure that we develop our community? And then, sincerely, we can now live very well with our other brothers and sisters who are in other religions. I will stop here and then continue with the program. I think that because of time, we will go straight to invite productive messages. And I think my first point of call is the representative of the National Peace Council, my brother here. Henry Adokai. That's a round of applause. He's going to give us a small message on the Peace Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Let me stand on the already existing protocols. Please have a meeting, Mr. John. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has long been regarded internationally, and rightly so, as a safe haven in an otherwise troubled sub-region. Ghana has been spared of the numerous religious and other conflicts that have brought most countries in the West African region. For this reason, the National Peace Council was established to facilitate and develop mechanisms for conflict prevention, management, resolution, and build sustainable peace throughout the country, which includes religious harmony. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the National Peace Council recognizes that as a country, we cannot build a just and peaceful society if we fail to protect the rights of our people, including the freedom of religion. It is for this reason that the National Peace Council is happy to be part of this lecture series to strengthen peace among Muslims and non-Muslims alike in Ghana, to dialogue so that as a democratic nation, we can all chart a common cause that will sustain our religious pluralism and tolerance, but still hold us together as one united people. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Handing. The next person on my list is the Office of National Chief Imam. And I think our own Sheikh Al-Nashai will do that.
In the name of Allah, most grateful, most merciful, we give him thanks and praises. We adore and exalt his name, his good and holy, his fullness and perfection. We ask Allah to bestow his peace and blessings upon Prophet Muhammad, and indeed all the prophets and all those who turn about the righteous person to the end of judgment. Mr. Chairman, the representative from the National Peace Council, our very revered and distinguished speaker, my very good friend, Dr. Thursday, the Christian Council. See how we are smiling at each other. Because it shows we know ourselves. Our revered scholar, Sheikh Usman Bari, my very good friend and senior brother, whom I knew when I was very young. At the time he was far senior. I was in P6 at Papa when I met him for the first time. And he never remembered until I met him and I told him. So it's he became very young, very old. My revered chiefs, Dr. Hafiz from the University of Ghana, my respected sisters, aunties and daughters, respected scholars, here in assembled, the media. Let me begin by greeting you all with Islamic greetings of love, peace and fraternity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to begin on a note of thanks and appreciation for the opportunity to speak briefly on this forum, and I do so as the spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, so an authority, I can say. I'm a representative here, an authority. I can say that. So on my own behalf, on behalf of the eminent National Chief Imam, I want to express the appreciation of the entire Muslim leadership in Ghana to Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim and to Icodehs for this wonderful initiative, for an attempt to bring people belonging to diverse religions to a common table where we can all talk about a central subject of peace and how we can all relate to make peace a reality and a real experience, a human community here in Ghana and globally. And it's also a word of congratulations also to Sheikh Mustafa for working tirelessly to make a contribution to this very important subject matter. If you look at the very theme of this, or the topic, interfaith dialogue, lessons through Islamic history as a guide to strengthen peace among Muslims and non-Muslims in Ghana. In other words, we are localizing all efforts it is becoming clear that across the history of humanity, wars have been fought, and from faraway adversarial positions, the need for us to draw near and converge in the center on the note of dialogue has become so clear in our minds. And it is so also because we appreciate our diversity. The very context of dialogue in any situation where we find ourselves, the very context of it is diversity, where we are expressing diversity through different angles: religion, culture, ethnicity, ideologies. Even within ideologies, even in academia, you find people expressing different views, and sometimes to avoid the clashes that come as a result of these diversities, we create a space for a better and positive interhuman relationship through the concept of dialogue. Recently, even in our democracy, we have seen how political or partisan diversity has visited so much negative consequences on our nation and our democracy, to the extent that we have a president who stands on the floor of parliament to give his sessional address or state of the nation address, and he calls for, in fact, he was compelled by circumstance to call for a dialogue between our two great big parties because there's a need for it. Looking into the future, meaning that if we don't do so, we are most likely to slide into the situation of violence come 2020. So sometimes as human beings, we are compelled by circumstance to say, because of the fear and anticipation of violence, we need to do something about it. Or because of our common desire, objective, expectation, or aspiration to make peace our common reality, something that we can all share and experience. We are compelled by the circumstance. Indeed, like the chairman said, even within Muslims, diversity in terms of jurisprudence or even Islamic ideology has thrown us far apart, and sometimes it has been the reason why we have looked to ourselves as enemies. Sometimes I have felt worried that within the Muslim fraternity, I've seen where the Shiites have bombed the Sunnis. I've seen where the Sunnis have bombed the Shiites. And anytime I see so, I ask my question, so in whose interest are these bombs being thrown? This is a Muslim of a certain fraternity, of a certain ideology and understanding. This is another Muslim. But because we fail to create a space for understanding, we have to kill each other. And for me, that's the reason why I think a subject matter of this nature is very, very important for us. And I am so keen, it's one of the subject areas that I'm so keen about. For example, Reverend, a practical question. If there ever happens to be a conflict, sharp conflict between Muslims and Christians, and we all take up the cutlass or the guns, and then all of a sudden we come face to face, Reverend, what will we? Seriously, I have been asking myself, there are certain Christians that I work with closely, very closely. And so whenever there is a conflict, I ask myself, so if I meet them in any place where we all raise the cutlass and then all of a sudden I hear him, I tell myself, when I see the face of Archbishop of Abattle, and I see the current chairman of National Peace Council, Professor Santi, whom I have very close relationship with, or Professor Fauci, when he came face to face, what I will do is that I will throw away my gun and run away. In the interest of it, because I cannot look at him now in any case as an enemy. I cannot do that. And he will also not look at me as an enemy. But that is what dialogue is able to do. So first and foremost, I like the point that the Sheikh made. Dialogue is not debate. And so therefore, anytime people are debating and call it dialogue, is a misnomer. Like the Bradley mentioned, sometimes we hear Zachariah or the Bible preachers here, what they engage in is not dialogue, it is debate. And in debate, what you do is that you look at the weak point of your contender and weak him and prove to him that he has no knowledge or he cannot articulate a certain logic, and sometimes that one even fuels up emotion. Dialogue is not negotiation. In negotiation, you are looking at your interest so that both of you will not compromise your interest. So dialogue is not negotiation. By dialogue, like he said, is a situation created in order we can deepen understanding of our common attributes, common understanding, the common grounds, and also to clearly state where our differences are, so that we don't compromise on those differences. In religious dialogue, there is something we call the non-negotiables. The non-negotiables. In the state of religions, the non-negotiables are the principles that underpin the faith, that you cannot negotiate or compromise them. So, for example, there's no way, as I speak, I tell Professor Pausi that, oh, Christians abandon Trinity, the concept of Trinity, because that is fundamental to represent faith. There's no way you can tell them that. There's no way Professor Pausi will say, Sheikh, but you, this, your Tawheed, and the way you understand it, you have to abandon it so that you can, because Tawheed is so fundamental. The uncompromising Tawheed is so fundamental to the faith of Islam. These things are what we call the non-negotiables. When we understand and discuss them, we bring to the fore what are the things that concern the Christian and the Muslim. Ignorance, disease, our economic downturn, filth, wars that is happening in the whole of the world. Today in faraway New Zealand, we saw as a result of the senseless killing of the Muslims on a Friday, how Muslims and Jews have seen the need to come together and say a prayer. Or in the church, we saw Muslims and Christians that have met in a church as a result of that which happened. In other words, when the threat of war or no barriers, it can attack the Muslim, can attack the Christian. And for our own safety, there must come a time when we tell ourselves, let's sit down and talk. And then we'll talk about what we think can cause avoidable conflict between us. These are the reasons why I personally feel that this particular effort that today is something that we must all endorse, welcome, work at it, make it real, explore other avenues where we can deepen and make it real, that even on the television, like we've done before, we can see during elections, we can be seen working together to ensure that we deepen the peace of our country, the whole world. With that, Ghana is a special place now. I hope that we never slide back into violence, so that all other countries can come back to learn from us. Dear Congo once came to the National Chief Imam, Major Vice to the Chief Imam, most Muslims, Christians, led by the former General Secretary of the Christian Council. And when they come, what they are asking for is that they want to find out the secret. What's the secret between the relationship of Muslims in Ghana? They want to learn from this from the Chief Imam. And I think that we can go on and talk about this. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.
National Peace Council, members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of academia here gathered, eminent religious leaders, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you fraternal greetings from the heads of member churches of the Christian Council of Ghana. They say congratulations. They say congratulations to Icodehs because you've done so well. For you to put this lecture series together is a great step towards peace in our dear nation, Ghana, because it is based on interfaith dialogue. I also want to express my gratitude for inviting the Christian Council of Ghana. I am particularly honored and privileged to witness this event today, because while there may still be some incidents of mistrust among Muslims and Christians and people of other faiths, occasions like this cement the unity that is between us. I have met new faces today, and will become friends for a very long time. I hope this is not just the first and the last, but this is just the beginning of a long journey to come, that we will continue to work together. As General Secretary of the Christian Fraternity, the Christian Council of Ghana, I promise my support for any interfaith dialogue activities. On the theme, interfaith dialogue, how to strengthen peace among different faiths. I'd like to say that the Christian Council of Ghana has a strong and a long history of interfaith relations. Before independence, through independence, after independence, after military regimes, and into our democratic dispensations, especially the Fourth Republic. But long ago, before even independence, we had a program at the Christian Council of Ghana called Procura. Procura is Program for Christian-Muslim Relations in Africa. In that program, we try to strengthen the bonds of peace and unity among Christians and Muslims in our dear nation, Ghana. But in addition to that, we also educate members of our churches on how to relate with people of other faiths. They don't have to be your enemies. The whole mission of the Christian Council of Ghana is to build the capacities of its members to contribute to achieving peace, justice, unity, human dignity, and integrity of creation among Ghanaians. I want to emphasize that the mission of Christian Council is to build capacities, all of us, educate all of us, to build peace, justice, unity, human dignity, and integrity of creation among Ghanaians, and to provide a forum, a platform like this one, for joint action on issues of common interest or national concern. When it comes to the issue of joint action, I think Sheikh had mentioned some of them. We have been working practically together when it comes to election monitoring and supervision, preparation for elections. We have had joint seminars, workshops, and then we actually go to the field together, one Muslim, one Christian, to make sure that there is peace in our country. Because when there is mayhem in Ghana, if we distinguish between a Muslim and a Christian, we will all be equally affected or impacted by any kind of war or violence in our country. We have collaborated on HIV/AIDS programs. Sheikh, is that correct? We have collaborated on HIV, malaria eradication programs, natural disasters. When there are natural disasters, we come together. When you ask the question, what I'm going to do if we are holding such classes, we will not get there. When there is some kind of confusion, the first is I'll take my phone and call you and say, talk to your people. Just as the Chief Imam did when there was some crisis about death prophecies in our country recently. He calmed the youth, the Muslim youth, down and said, please, don't take up arms. We can talk about this. So we will not get to the point of classes. Because when we get to the point of classes, if you are not careful, you don't recognize your brother before you catch him. So we have collaborated in several areas. My hope is that this wonderful enterprise will not be limited to only Muslims. It will not be a one faith activity, but it will be open to people of other faiths. What I mean by that is that maybe in future lectures, the guest speaker, the guest lecturer, will be a Christian scholar and not so much a Muslim scholar, and invite more Christian groups to be here. Let's open it up because Ghana is a shining example of peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians, the two major religions in our dear nation, Ghana. On that note, I want to once again congratulate Icodehs for this wonderful seminar, for this wonderful initiative. Congratulations to you. Please keep it up. May God bless us all. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Reverend, for this wonderful intervention. We will invite some few other three leaders of the high team to give us just 2 minutes about how it's going. 2 minutes, some message. I will call on my scholar, my chef, Sheikh Usman Bari, to give us a short message.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Mr. Chairman, the organizers of this meeting this afternoon, I would like, in all humility, to crave your indulgence to give us a solemn 1 minute stand to pray for the lost souls of our brothers in New Zealand. Over 50 people were put to an end of their life on Friday while paying their homage and respect to God. May we stand for just 1 minute. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا أقبل نزلهم وادخلهم فسيروا جنات النعيم مع الأبرار الصالحين وتب عليهم يا مولانا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you for your respect. Mr. Chairman, already we are running out of time, but I think this is so important topic that interfaith dialogue is the reason why we've gathered here this afternoon. But indeed, we have to be more realistic and proactive and sincere to each step we are making towards achieving peace in this our beloved country. Definitely, the issue of dialogue is not a small thing. Already, the representative of the National Chief Imam has made it clear that there are no good areas in certain conversation or discussion or debate between religious sections in our country and beyond. But I want to call our attention that the basic principle in Islam has got 4 dimensions that we can always interrelate with our brothers, being Christians or even idol worship or Jews or whatever they are. Number 1, the issue of doctrine, that we can see there's no good area. Number 2, the mode of worship, that we can also see there's no good area. But there are 2 things, again, that are open for interaction between various and diverse sects of people in the world. We have what we call transaction. Transaction cut across human relationship, whether Christian, Buddhism, Jewish, or Muslim, whatever it is, transaction cuts across these areas together. You can transact with a Christian as a Muslim. You can transact with a Buddha as a Muslim. You can transact with a idol worship as a Muslim. So also it goes around the coin. So on this transaction, we have to be very clear in our mind. What are we going to transact about? Interest. Common interest that abide the two sides together that we call for transaction. Like money transaction, contractor transaction, whatever it is. It's a mutual interest that you are defining to transact between you and your fellow human being. You cannot transact between you and the animal. You cannot transact between you and the sun. You cannot transact between you and the moon. But you can transact between you and another human being. Well, this is the third option in the Islamic Sharia, where you can say we have two no-goes and we have two goes. Now, transaction is an area where we here in Ghana as Muslims can always coexist with our brothers, compatriots, irrespective of which religion they choose for themselves. So this is accepted in principle. Number two is the issue of the code of conduct. Nobody will like his siblings, children, or offspring to go astray. We want to make sure that in this country, we bring up people who are useful to this country, who we can rely on in this country, who we can promote in this country, who we can encourage in this country, so that we can achieve a vital point that we all stand to look for where we get it from. Definitely, when you are bringing up your children, trying to make sure that you are inculcated in their mind certain information that will make them always look for nothing but for peace. Environmental. If you give wrong information to your people, you get the wrong result from your people. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Chef. We will invite Dr. Hafiz. That one I will be very strict. 1.5 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Usually I'm hesitant to dilute the good of thoughts that I get from my elders and the elders when they speak on these important matters. So I'll be very brief as the chairman requested. First, I would want to thank the Icodehs for leading the way in showing us how to go about interfaith dialogue. I only hope and pray that subsequent meetings should be more representative as a Christian Council, so that the speaker expressed. I actually didn't want to say it, and I was provoked by what Zagun said about the need to take this beyond West. I met a friend abroad, and he was on a project commissioned by Foreign Mission of Colombia, and he explained it in interfaith dialogue in a very beautiful way. And since then, that has stuck in my head, and I want to share with us all. He said interfaith dialogue is about interfaith, about life. Because Muslim and Christian Jews see religion as a way of life. So we talk about interfaith dialogue, it's actually a dialogue of life. And he says to bring at 3 levels. At the heart level, our heart must be open to each other. We should be willing to see and embrace one another. And he says we also embrace at the heart level. We must be seen doing things together. Putting actionable things that can be done to change the course of humanity. And he also said that you also operate at the mind level. In the sense that we should be able to accept basic logic on issues that are negotiable, as our scholars have said. And it's important we remember as we do this that this involves compromise. Compromise on things that can be negotiated on. And I always tell my Muslim brothers, if the Christian tradition and Jewish tradition embrace each other and watch ahead as humans, Muslims are better positioned to do that. Because we accept all these faiths. You cannot be a Muslim without believing in Jesus. You cannot be a Muslim without believing in Moses. And if we are well positioned to do this, we should be able to compromise to forge ahead as one common humanity. Thank you very much.
I agree. But if don't give our chiefs away, then we can't give them time. Then they will do. I will not have time. So after my chief, I will please any of who want to speak. I will give the opportunity to give us everything.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Chairman, our most distinguished Islamic scholars, colleagues, our mothers present here. Initially, I must commend big efforts of Icodehs under the leadership of Sheikh Mustafa Ibrahim, who has always been the first in promoting such activities in our communities. Thank you, sir. Having said that, there have been a lot of sermons on tolerance, on peace, in our mosques, in our community, everywhere. But I don't ask, when is the time we are going to bring practical demonstration of what we were told? Always were when you come into our community today, happiness is not the best. Happiness is not the best. At this side, when there is an encounter at the social scenes or political scenes, what we see, either a Muslim is seen as a perpetrator, here a Muslim as a victim, or Muslim as a perpetrator here, Muslim as a victim. What do we do? So I hope that time has come that we should not see the things, but be very practical in our communities, in our homes. So come 21st of this month, the Council of Global Chiefs is inviting all our chiefs in the greater gravity and some ulams to discuss these issues. What is happening in our community? Because time is not on our side. All too soon, political activities going to begin in this country. With the current situation, I don't think it is the best to end up that trying to do something about this. Thank you for this opportunity.
I agree. Good. Thank you so much, Chief. Any of our mothers and sisters who want to speak? One person to speak on behalf of them. Any hand? Good. Please come. Wonderful. We speak on behalf of our mothers and sisters.
On behalf of our mothers, I think this topic was a very nice topic. I was thinking the dialogue should rather focus on the Zongo communities more. It shouldn't always be a formal section, because I believe most of the people here are educated. And an educated person wouldn't go with example in this interreligious misunderstanding. I think the leaders don't go out there to fight, it's rather the youth that go out there to fight. So I think the focus should rather be on the youth, educated, and I'm sure even though some of our mosques have gone around to talk about it, it's not all of them that even go there to talk. So I think it should rather, if they could even go for this face-to-face, just like the way people organize people talk about drug abuse and the rest, home to door to door. I think a door-to-door something would also help. And I'm also thinking, why not they bring psychologists to also go talk about this? Because as psychologists, the study of human behavior, maybe a research could be done about it to know why they behave the way they do. And I'm also thinking, with if it's always going to be about a formal session, I'm sure with the way the Songo community is and the way we the youth are, with our mothers and this information going to our mothers, it's not every child that is going to listen to their mother. They are going to for sure brush it off. So I'm thinking the focus should rather go on the youth more than the elder. There shouldn't always be a formal session. Thank you. Salam alaikum.
I think very good. Our time is up, and I know that people wanted to speak, but we can't give you the opportunity. My closing remark is simple. This is a very good beginning. We pray that Allah take us to the next series where we can even make more people and all the sentiments raised here, including bringing Muslims and Christians together. All of this will be done in the next series. I want to invite Baden to come and give us the vote of thanks. And then we will invite somebody to pray for us.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Chairman, erudite speaker, honorable members of Parliament, representatives of the National Peace Council, General and National Chief Imam, General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, members of the diplomatic heads of religious groups, heads of civil society organizations, representatives of transnational organizations, traditional leaders, representatives, heads, members of the academia, parents, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters here in Ghana. Let's first thank God Almighty for seeing us through this inaugural session successfully. It is our hope and prayer that subsequent sessions will chalk even much more success, inshallah. Mr. Chairman, the hadith says, "Man lam yashkur nas, lam yashkurullah." That whoever does not give thanks to people will not give thanks to Allah. On this premise, therefore, words are inadequate to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all distinguished guests for making time to be with us this evening. Your presence has indeed added much needed grace to this inaugural session of Icodehs Public Lecture Series. Even as we leave this place, Icodehs hopes that each one of us will reflect over the topic and think and act on the compelling importance of interfaith dialogue from the Islamic perspective, while recognizing that of Christians, Jewish, among others, as guide to strengthen peace between Muslims and non-Muslims in Ghana and the world at large. May Allah bless you all. Take you home safely. Peace, salam. Thank you very much, and peace be unto you all.
Thank you very much. I will now invite Madam Abdul Mumin Rahim to give us the closing prayer.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم عسى الله أن يجعل بينكم وبين الذين عاديتم منهم مودة والله قدير والله غفور رحيم لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين إنما ينهاكم الله عن الذين قاتلوكم في الدين وأخرجوكم من دياركم وظاهروا على إخراجكم أن تولوهم ومن يتولهم فأولئك هم الظالمون صدق الله العظيم.
I think he recited Quran for us, which is a dua, and I will invite my Sheikh Shahida to give us a very short closing prayer.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا وفقنا لما فيه الصلاح والإصلاح للمسلمين والإنسانية عامة. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Sheikh.
So far from you, yet to me you were always so close. I wandered lost in the dark. I closed my eyes to all the signs you put in my way. I walked every day further and further away from you. Ooh, Allah, you brought me home. I thank you with every breath I take.